Roll the intro. We need to get an official Kim Possible intro.
Nam's Possible intro.
Nam's Possible. Or we need to get you in Mazen's studio to record your own sound effects just like you just did.
Ooh, man. Me next to Mazen's voice, though? I don't know. Sorry, Maz. That's... For anyone's ears out there, I apologize in advance.
You're a goof. What do we just do for dinner? Or what do we just do in general?
Today, took you for a surprise little date night.
Where'd we go? What did we do?
We went golfing because you just started to golf last year. Me and my family got you hooked onto it, and
Seriously.
you picked it up real quick.
I never thought that I was going to actually like enjoy golf and play it. And then we started playing. I was like, man, I love playing golf.
It's also because you're really good at it. Like, you picked it
Yeah.
up super fast.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the times people have a hard time, like, they'll just swing and miss. And you're just, like, cracking 300 yards. Like, it's not fair. I don't know.
Anyways, today for the first time ever, we both went to virtual golf,
Yeah, like an indoor,
which
like,
which was really dope. We basically played this course from China.
Yeah, there was, like,
which
70
was-
different courses to pick from.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
It killed us.
Yeah, my back's a little...
We got body. That was our first time playing since like a year or whatever.
I think
Since
like,
last summer.
Since September.
Since September, yeah. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Like 6 months basically.
Yeah.
And how's your swing look?
You know what? It's a little rusty at the moment, but...
She has like this grandpa type swing. It's like hilarious.
Okay, so what my thing is I'm used to, because I play tennis. So when I'm a righty in golf, but I'm a lefty otherwise.
Yeah, yeah.
So in all stick
Oh, yeah.
sports, so like hockey, golf,
It's like me.
baseball, I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
But tennis, I'm left-handed, and like in life in general, I'm
Yeah.
left-handed. So in tennis, my backhand is essentially my golf swing. So it's a little
Yeah, that's all
different
backwards.
because in my backhand, my arms aren't outstretched the entire time. Like, you have them a little bent. You know what I mean? So I'm basically trying to justify why my swing looks whack. So I'm not really doing
She's
myself
trying
any
to
favors
literally
here.
justify that, which is crazy.
Anyways,
But look,
we'll work on it.
so we're still conceptualizing everything. We're still trying to figure out what this is. But we did one so far, which is like our intro, which was fun.
Yeah.
It was dope. Now this is the second one,
Yep.
and we're trying to tell our story.
Yeah, I think that's what
Right.
we decided on.
That's what we decided on, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like telling our story, like showing our life, all that kind of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's tell our story. How do you want to describe our story though? Before we like tell it,
Yeah.
how would you like sum it up or describe it?
It's very unique.
Why?
Because I don't know anybody else who has a story even like relatively similar to ours.
That
like,
is true.
I don't know anyone who has like met their significant other the way we have, and it's
Yeah.
like worked out
Yeah, seriously.
and like gotten to the point where we are today. And then also just the fact that like we weren't in the same place at the same time.
No,
So for a while.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's tell it.
Okay.
Should we start? Like, how should we start when I first like with the slide or what?
Well, yeah, that's how it all went down.
All right. So back context, you can fill in whatever's like missing, obviously.
Yeah.
Back context is obviously we're both from Edmonton, Alberta, which is where we live right now. So we grew up around similar people.
Yeah.
She's a national tennis champion. I'm a random basketball player. So like, but I played at my university, Grand McEwen University. She played University of Alberta. So like, you know, in college days, obviously there's crossovers from like different bars, the nightclubs. Like, not that I had ever talked to her, but I had for sure seen you.
We were at the same like birthday parties.
Yeah. So
New
a
Year's
bunch of our friends
parties.
cross over from like
Yeah.
business friends
Yeah.
to basketball friends. Like
Yeah.
there's crossover.
Yeah.
And yeah, we basically saw each other like New Year's, all that kind of like
Yeah.
stuff. It's like
But
there's,
we never talked.
well, we never talked.
We never even like introduced each other. Like, hey, like I'm
Yeah. We never got introduced to each other, and we never
Yeah.
like personally.
We never actually like talked.
Yeah,
each
never
other at
actually
all.
talked. Just saw each other.
Yeah.
So that's like a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And then
We knew of each other.
obviously we knew of each other.
We knew of each other, but we never.
We knew of
talked.
each other.
Yeah.
So it was 2017, right? December 2017.
Yeah. So I was home. At
So
the time.
I wish I had the
DM.
Is the thing over there? Hold on.
You have to get the actual message. I'm sure.
Entertain them like that girl on remember on TikTok where she leaves and the dad's like
She's also like 8 months old or something. So this is our second episode.
This is why I'm like the host of this. And like, 'cause we're gonna teach this beautiful lady over here how to do this kind of stuff. But anyways, look. Let me bring it up a little closer to the screen, just for context. So this is our love story. So this is what I'm talking about first. We're not gonna get into all this stuff yet. We're gonna talk just here the love story. So the DM anniversary is what we call it. December 2nd, 2017. Let me put it right here, so maybe it can like stay in the screen. I think it'll fit here or not. Will it fit or not?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, let's see. There we go. So December 2nd, 2017. That was the day her life changed for the better, essentially.
My life.
Yeah, well, your life just became a million times better because I entered it.
And what about your life?
Yeah, it was cool.
Became cooler.
It became all right. Anyways, I don't like fully exactly remember. I just remember like scrolling and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm assuming that I got to I know 100% I got to the page from CAD.
Okay.
CAD was connected to another friend.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 vice versa. So CAD had posted a picture, I'm pretty sure. And obviously in that picture, it was probably you, CAD, and Kate. I'm just assuming it was trifecta. If you don't know, like, hopefully the girls will actually watch this. But we'll do an episode one day where the trifecta, the infamous trifecta, is here. And they do a hilarious episode. I think which would be so funny. But anyways, I'm pretty sure there was a picture of all them. I was like, oh, like, damn, okay. Who this?
Whoa.
Like, who that? And she had, like, long legs.
That
Like,
sure do.
dangly arms.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
like a tree like this.
Oh my.
That's how, anyway, I'm just kidding. But anyway, she looked dope. So I was like, yeah, I don't follow her. I don't know her. So I click obviously on the tag on Instagram. Boom, find her page. But you were private, right?
Yeah.
So I think I hit follow first. I had to.
Yeah, we were following each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were following each other for a while. So I followed her. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, let's see what's good, right? I follow her.
Yeah.
Her page was dope. Obviously, I found out she was in Australia, all that kind of stuff because she accepted the follow. And then whatever, we followed each other for how long? Do you know?
I don't know. So the way I remember it starting off was that like whatever, we followed each other, and then I remember one day just like liking a couple of your pictures because they were like from Thailand or
Okay, yeah.
I don't know, something like super dope, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like this guy likes to travel. This is cool.
Yeah.
And I think I had liked a photo or maybe liked two, and then I think it was like that evening or the next day is when I got the DM, and I was like, oh shit.
So I'm assuming what happened was as soon as you kind of were like liking some of those pictures, I was like, okay. in my head, that's probably like, that's basically when it clicked. Like, okay, there's interest, right? Because you don't just like random guys or girls pictures when you've never had a conversation with them.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? If you're doing that, okay, maybe your thumb slipped, but usually you're trying to send a subliminal message to them to be like, yo, I'm here, I'm alive, like, come speak to me.
I don't know.
She's denying that, but basically that's what happened. Then I slid in her DM.
Yes.
I slid in her DM.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the exact words, but I remember I said, this isn't a DM slide.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how else to get to know you.
So
Damn, I remembered it.
That was it. So
that was it.
So this is like my attempt or something.
Yeah, so I was like, look, this isn't a DM slide, but I really want to get to know you, and this is my attempt. So I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
It was super smooth.
And then I called you out on it though.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a pretty smooth slide, I'll tell you that.
It was a smooth slide.
But I had to call you out on it.
She called me out on it,
Yeah.
and then basically from there, like once I like hooked her in, you know, once I hooked you in, once I hooked her in with that then we basically just whatever started DMing, go back and forth, all that kind of stuff. And I remember we used to do so much stuff. Like we used to do the whole Snapchat thing.
It's because so we would like, so you never liked, well, we texted,
Yeah.
but you always preferred like a video of like you talking. And
Yeah,
like
'cause
that
it's more
being sent.
personable.
So yeah.
It's more personal.
Yeah. And I appreciated that because usually like, I feel like people are always playing like the texting games. Like, oh, like
That's
he
what it
texted
is.
this
Yeah.
or she texted that. Like, what do
Yeah.
I do? But this was like, it seemed more real. Like you can always hide behind a text,
Yeah.
but when you're like having, and
Yeah.
plus we never talked to each other in real life before.
Never one time.
And like this was back when
Never
like
one time.
Snapchat was still a thing. So you would like send a video of you like at the gym, or like it would be like long. You would just like be basically
yeah.
like talking to me like as if you were recording a video.
I would literally send her mini podcast.
Yeah.
I would record it like
Yeah.
this, ask her questions, tell her
Yeah.
what's going on, and then send it to her and like hopefully expect something similar back instead of just like sending a paragraph text.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like something that was really dope that we did because we get to see each other,
Yeah.
our faces.
Well, that was different because I had never had that like or experienced that before. It's always just text.
Everything you
So-
have never experienced before because you just met me. And I brought all those unique experiences into your life.
Yes. And I brought the entertainment into your life.
You did bring a lot of entertainment, which we
Yeah.
will touch on. Because you, like I said, from last episode, if you haven't seen last episode, she's Goofy from the Goof Troop.
Hey.
That's exactly who she is. Okay, so anyways, slid in, we talked,
Yeah.
did the whole Snapchat thing. This is when I was back in LA still, and obviously she was in Australia, which we're gonna get into.
Yeah.
But
But it wasn't even just the Snapchat. It was like voice notes too.
Oh, voice notes were a big
that
thing.
was that was really big.
Yeah.
Like it was cool to like actually like hear, well obviously like in the video like I'm seeing your face and
Yeah.
hearing you talk, but like
But
to,
still,
to hear your voice too, like if it's like instead of like a long paragraph, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, just send a voice note.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like it's much
Yeah.
easier, and it seemed more real. So
I forgot about the voice notes actually, but it makes sense because we were basically doing all types of like media,
yeah,
sending content to each other, just like,
yeah,
and then instead of just doing text messages which is what everyone used to do.
yeah,
Anyways, from there we kind of built everything up. Like we just kind of like built our rapport, like our trust, all that kind of stuff. We got to know each other through all these different things.
yeah.
Then you came back to Edmonton.
No, all this was when I was back in Edmonton.
Oh, sorry, this is already when you were back. in
Yeah.
Edmonton.
So
My apologies.
basically, I did my physiotherapy degree in Australia.
Yep.
So I was there for 4 years, and their summer break is our winter here.
Yeah.
So I would come home like middle of November,
Yeah.
and then that was my summer break, like Australian summer break.
Yeah.
But it worked out for me because I would be home for the holidays, and I'd be home until like end of February ish, like beginning of March. I used to like push it as late
That's
as
right.
I could.
That's right.
Yeah. So I had just come home, and I think you had DM'd me literally like maybe that same week.
Just
I
when
had
you
come
came home. Yeah.
It wasn't when I was there. It was when I.
But I was in LA when I DM'd you.
Yeah.
But then I came
Yeah.
back home.
You were traveling a lot
For the
back and forth.
holidays,
You
though,
like
didn't
went
I?
to New York. You were in. Yeah. I think you were home for the holidays.
I did go to New York with Mo and Kareem
Yeah. Yeah.
during that time because me and you were
Yeah.
like talking heavily during that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when did I come back?
You went to LA, I think, like twice at that time. You were at the house.
Yeah.
That's when you guys like rented out that big house. And then I think you had gone again like once before that too. I think you had made like probably 2 trips to LA and 1 to New York
Yeah, that makes sense.
because you were traveling quite a bit.
But then I came back 1 month. Do you remember?
January?
Like it was after the holidays.
You were
right?
like you were here for the holidays.
Yeah.
And I think you left a bit like mid-January, came back I think like
Yeah.
mid-February, and then I left.
Yeah, then you
We
left.
were like overlapping quite a bit.
So in that first period, we never saw each other. In the first time we started talking.
So like probably for like a good month and a half.
Yeah, a good month and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, we never met up. We were just talking.
But what
Yeah.
month was Remedy? I'm trying to lead into that.
That's January 4th.
Okay. Whoa.
That's our first date, not date.
So the first time we ever met up was
Yeah.
at this really dope cafe called Remedy Cafe. Shout out to Remedy. We love their chais and everything there. That's a plug maybe for a future connect. Maybe maybe we can eventually have like mugs here with like chai in it. Anyways,
Oh my
I
gosh.
digress. So let's talk about that day because there's a couple funny things. And by the way, if you're listening to this is going to be a very long-winded our story because we have to go into some details that people don't know about probably.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, the first thing is like, anyways, Remedy Cafe.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, let's go meet there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I want you to explain the little side story about your hair.
No, why? We're not starting from there.
Why not?
No. Okay,
Why not?
fine. Oh my gosh.
I know that's the whole point of this.
Oh, okay, fine. So basically in our conversations,
Yeah.
I had like, I always like mix it up. Like I'll straighten my hair or I'll curl it or I'll do like this like weird wavy thing with it. So in like our conversations we were talking, it was mentioned that you liked my hair or liked it a little better when it was curly or
Yeah.
like wavy. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like noted. So so the first time that we met, I was like, okay, figuring out what to wear. You know, you don't want to be like too cute, but then don't want to be like underdressed. So,
Yeah.
you know, I had to really figure out what the right look was. And then part of that look was to curl my hair. So maybe that was intentional that I did on purpose.
When she first told me that story, it was like so cute because she's like, yeah, like I really like, she basically like wanted to impress me, which obviously I appreciate. And we were both trying to do that to each other because first impression is so important, especially when it's like Indian people involved. Like the first impression is very important.
I think in general, it's just very important.
Yeah, in general,
Yeah.
but also like, for Indians, it's like very
Yeah.
important. So it's like we were both like dressed up a certain way, like wanted to
Yeah.
like make a good impression.
Yeah.
Remember we had that little corner table.
Yeah.
And we
Because it was
just
packed over there.
it was packed, and basically we
Yeah.
just started talking. I remember there was also a point where like we shared the seat.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
So you were trying to show me like a video on your phone.
Yeah, of one of my past companies or whatever.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, like, and it was really loud in there because the place was
Yeah.
packed. And you had your headphones.
Headphones, yeah.
So you're like, okay, you gotta take a look. And then you just like came over onto my side of the table and like like scooched in. I did not pay attention to the video at all. I don't even know what the video.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, like yeah, so cool. Oh my gosh. And I'm just like, oh my god.
You're actually too funny.
Oh my
So that was like the
Yeah.
first time we ever like had a close encounter of like
yeah.
just like it sounds so childish, but like sitting on the same chair together,
Yeah.
but like just being so, it's like so innocent. Like that's just what it was.
It was a very innocent first
Yeah.
meeting. It's literally like little kids, like
Yeah.
just like. You didn't tell them apart. Okay, so basically, when also we were talking,
Yeah.
you always said that whenever you first meet me, and I thought you were joking, but you're like, I'm gonna give you a solid handshake,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, this guy, like, what do you mean a handshake? Like, give me a hug or
Yeah.
like, you know. He's like, no, like that's how I do it. And I'm gonna give you a handshake, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I had gotten there before you. So I was sitting down and you like came up and you were like, hey, I'm Nav. And literally just like took out your hand. I was like, wow, this is really happening. Okay.
I told you I was serious about handshaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure like the first time we met was like very like kind, like respectful. Like
yeah, it was.
that's generally how I am anyway. But you never had met me in person, so it was important for you to like see that.
yeah.
Like all the goofiness and text and whatever aside, like
Yeah.
yo, this is like who I am. Like I'm the
Mhm.
same person.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to see that. Anyways, Remedy was dope. We stayed for X amount of hours or whatever, and talked about all kind of different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of that's from that is obviously from there. That's when things start to like build up.
Yeah.
And because like the first encounter is so important, right? If I had met her and she was whack or whatever, like if I was like crazy or whatever, like obviously that wouldn't have happened. Like we
Yeah.
wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
But I was amazing.
Okay.
You were like cool or whatever you want to
Uh-huh.
call it, and
Okay.
basically you were
Sorry.
taken aback by me.
Notice how these words are coming out of your mouth. I haven't said any of these words.
But you were breathless when you met me, speechless,
breathless.
speechless. You almost passed out.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You were
wish.
sweating.
So are you.
You were nervous.
Your hands are really clammy. You even said.
My hands are generally always clammy though.
Yeah, but when you get a little nervous.
I'm just saying, how'd you really feel when you first met me?
I was nervous. I told you. So like, I think we mentioned this in the last one too. Like, when we actually first met, I was very
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah,
I was like, I didn't have much to say because I didn't know what to say,
yeah,
and I get really nervous. And like, some people think my goofy side is weird, so I didn't want you to think I was weird. So I just was like giggling at everything, and I didn't say a whole lot. So
Yeah, you actually didn't say that
I
much.
didn't
Yeah.
say. It was mostly like you saying like your stories, and
Yeah.
like I'd like chime in here and there. But I was just like, I was nervous, I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then after that, our first official date was at Hearts, right?
Yeah.
How much time was in between that?
A week or two?
Yeah, it wasn't that long,
Like
right?
2 weeks, yeah.
Because like you were obviously going back, so we were like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was like a topic of conversation. We're like, yo, like,
Yeah.
gonna be going back soon or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I had the date. Obviously, day went well. I want to like say something, but I don't know. It's like that was technically the first time we had like our first kiss.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just wanted to say that. It was the first kiss. That was like the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And basically, that's when she fell in love,
What? What?
right?
No.
What do you mean?
In love? Is that when you fell in love?
No. I would say that's when you fell in love with me.
No.
Because you were literally breathless after that.
No. Oh my god. So he thinks I apparently needed a paramedic after like every date over here. I was just breathless after every single time. I was definitely like smitten, and I really liked you.
Yeah, you were
obviously.
spin like crazy.
Yeah. So were you.
Yeah, I was spin.
Mm-hmm.
So before we even like go any further,
Mm-hmm.
well, let's touch on a little bit like about. Let's touch a little bit about like our backgrounds, because like it plays a role in this.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying that is because like I've always wanted like to find like my Jasmine. I've told you this before.
Yeah.
As like cliche as this will sound to someone listening or whatever,
Yeah.
that was like one of our favorite Disney movies, Lion King and Aladdin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, oh, like I'm Aladdin, like, oh, everyone always wanted to find a Jasmine, especially like as a brown boy, like
Yeah.
just taken to Aladdin
Yeah.
as a character. It's like, oh, and obviously like growing up in our culture, like Hindu culture, like you are essentially forced or like
Mm-hmm.
you're told that you should marry
Yeah.
into the same religion and the same color and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So no matter what happens, like throughout my entire life, no matter what I did, like in the back of my mind, I was always like, oh, I'm trying to find like Jasmine.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find her.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I would ever find her, but I did end up finding her.
That's me.
That's her. But anyways, where I was taking that was just like, for me, I was always searching for like someone who's compatible, like not only like for like everything I love, but like because the big thing for me was like the religion
Mm-hmm.
and like being able to like compatible with our family and our values, and like even like how we're doing like a big Hindu, like the Hindu wedding, like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff like meshes together like really nicely because of like how we
Mhm.
both grew up.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Anyways, that was like a side spiel.
Yeah.
So we had the dates, all that kind of stuff was dope. You went back to Australia in like Feb or March.
So you had gone to New York, you came
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
When you came back is when
You went
I
to New
went
York.
to New York.
Right, with your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went there for my 25th birthday.
Yeah.
They did a little trip. So we went for like about a week or 10 days. I came back, and then I think you maybe would have gone to LA,
Probably. I probably went straight back.
something like that. And then by the time you came back, I think I was only here for maybe like 2 or 3 more weeks,
Yeah.
and then I had to go. So I think in that time we tried to like hang out a bit more and like see if this is like
We
what
did
we
hang out
wanted to
a
do.
few times during that.
Yeah, we did.
And
Before I left.
I think
for
from
sure.
there, obviously, like, not that like me and her were trying to get like serious right away,
Yeah.
but also like, I'm very different, and I told you this where I was like, I'm not trying to waste time.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't mean that we have to like be together,
Yeah.
but it's like if we're compatible and like we both see something long term,
Yeah.
then we should pursue it. And if not, like that's cool. We can be friends or whatever, but like
Yeah.
at least we'll know, especially when you're leaving and I'm leaving.
Well, also it's like I didn't take it lightly that like we were gonna be in different countries for a long period. Like I was in my second year. I
Yeah.
still had 2 more years
Yeah. You should speak on that actually.
about long
About how-
distance.
No, not long distance yet, just about how you like never I don't know, like never thought you would like be with someone like during your school time and
just
stuff.
because I never heard or like experienced any like good stories with long distance. Like
yeah.
especially like I mean people have trouble when it's like a 3-hour drive apart, like from
Yeah.
Edmonton to Calgary. So in my mind, like I didn't want to be like this crazy person where I'm trying to do school and then be like, oh, what would Nav be doing all the time? Like it's just I
Yeah.
couldn't do that to like myself. Like
Yeah.
it was in my sanity. So I was really nervous to like be committed into something like that, and unless it was really serious.
Yeah.
Like if it was something light and like fun and like every time I come home we can hang out, then that's different. But like to be in it when we're literally like an ocean apart, and you weren't home in Edmonton either.
No.
So you were in LA and I was in Australia. So we were literally like a whole ocean apart. And we would go like 4 or 5 months without seeing each other, and like all those late nights and like you're sleeping and I'm awake. So it's like, it's hard, but to put in the effort, I just wanted to know like it would have been worth it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So basically that's what we figured out.
Yeah.
And we essentially like figured that out together. We're like, okay, well, there's basically potential. Like, let's like
Yeah.
figure out a way.
Yeah.
I remember I made the first big move
Yeah, you did.
by coming out there.
Yeah, you did.
So in LA for In the Lab, we were basically trying to find a house. We've been trying to find a house for a long time. We had just found a house.
Yeah.
What's the month?
This is May is
May.
when you moved.
April or May or something like that.
Yeah, April or May.
So April and May, we just find a house in LA.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to see her in Perth.
Yeah, so you had surprised me and booked a flight.
Booked the flight.
And we weren't even officially.
We weren't even dating.
Yeah,
so
we
look,
weren't even officially dating.
that's like how I felt about her. I was like, you know what? Like, we had to try it.
Yeah.
I was basically just like, I feel like I'm like more mature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying to you, I'm just saying in general to like general. This is like,
Yeah.
I understand like what I want. I understand like the type of person I want to be around. And I felt like that was, I didn't know yet,
Yeah.
but I was like, yo, I feel like this is like her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in literally a different world.
Yeah.
How else can we like make this work? I didn't know how else to make it work.
Yeah.
And I know that I made the right move by
You did.
booking the flight. So I booked a
Yeah.
flight to Perth.
Yeah.
And I remember like we just found this house in LA.
Yeah.
We literally went to see it the day before I was leaving. We got the contract signed. I remember I was at the airport
Yeah.
trying to sign the contracts for that house
Yeah.
on the way to come see you.
Yeah.
I remember the flight there. I remember the guy that I met on the airplane
Oh yeah. You
from
did meet- yeah.
Sydney to Perth or whatever the
Yeah.
layover was.
Wasn't he, like Canadian or something.
The whole some
Yeah.
like rugby player who like I don't know whatever like it
Oh,
was
yeah,
just
okay.
a cool experience for me. I'd never gone to Australia, longest flight of my life.
Yeah, it's a long journey.
I
to
did a
get
lot
to-
of first things because of this lady over here, which says a lot.
Yeah, that was a pretty bold move.
It was a bold move.
Yeah.
We weren't even dating. I was
Yeah.
like, let's just risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah.
Let's go out there.
Yeah.
I think I stayed for 2 weeks.
So you were supposed to stay longer.
Yes, but I had to reduce it.
Yeah, because you had to move in.
I had to
the
reduce
house.
the time there. I think
Yeah.
I was maybe staying for almost a month or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. I stayed half the time
Yeah.
because the house in LA just happened and the lab was our baby. So I had to go back there basically
Yeah.
and get to work. So, but we had a great 2 weeks. I got to
Yeah.
see Perth, meet some of the friends. We ate, we ate a lot of good food.
Yeah.
A lot of good food. Shout out to Perth and all the good foods out there. I love that. I love the spots out there.
Yeah.
And we got to just get to know each other. Like
Yeah.
we got to like talk, watch movies, like do different things.
Well, it
like-
was nice because we actually got to like experience being together without. There was still a time constraint, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like when we were here, like, oh, it's just a dinner or like
and then that's it. Yeah.
a coffee. It was like we actually got to like see more of each other and like learn
Yeah.
more about each other in a short amount of time, and it was just us. So like it wasn't even like at home and meeting other. I guess you were still meeting my friends and stuff in Australia.
No, but still, yeah, you're
You know
still
what I mean?
at the right
It's
point.
different. Like
It's different.
yeah,
It was basically our time alone. We were in our own bubble, our own world.
yeah,
Like just like learning about each other and like seeing like, yo, I took the risk to see if we could do it.
yeah,
She accepted it. You know, what I mean, and we just like got to know each other and like,
yeah. Well, to me, I was like, it was a really bold move because A, we weren't officially dating. B, we had maybe just hung out a handful of times.
Yeah.
Even though we were talking like every single day until
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 in the morning, every night for like months beforehand. But it like really spoke volumes of like, okay, like this guy's really serious. And like, I don't need to be so scared of like potentially doing this. So then I was like, all right, let the guard down a little bit and let's
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Anyways, it was really fun. It was a dope overall experience. And like I said, that brought us closer together.
Yeah, by the end of it, then we were officially dating.
Yeah. So we were officially dating by the end of it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when like, it was like, whoa, things are like
Yeah.
serious now. Like, like we're like a couple. Like for me, like I was at this stage in my life where I'm not dating someone unless I can see myself like marrying them, like see myself with them long term. That was the whole point of like us doing that. Was like, okay, I really can see myself like being with this goofball for the rest of my life. So I was like, yo, let's try this out.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about like, the craziest part, which is long distance. So the long distance was really wild at a lot of different points.
Yeah.
Because and I'll say this too, because people may listen to this and be like, oh, long distance is easy and blah blah blah, and like, yeah, I get that. It's gonna be different for each person, to each their own.
Yeah.
But when you're doing long distance and you're on similar time zones, yes, that can be very easy.
Yeah.
If you're an hour or 1 to 5 hours time difference, that's nothing.
Yeah.
We were literally like plus 14
Yeah.
hour time difference.
I was at least 14 or 15 hours ahead of you.
So when I'm going to sleep, she's waking up.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And like that made the communication so much tougher.
Yeah.
We did it. We did everything.
We did it. We found ways to make it work.
Yeah.
Because we were both in it. Like we weren't like
we were like committed to like
we were very
making
committed.
it work.
Yeah. It was obviously harder. Like I think it became harder too, like when I would have classes or I'd have to be in the hospital.
Yeah.
So like I'd be in the hospital from 8 to 5.
Yeah.
And we weren't allowed to be on our phones. So I would not be able to talk to you all day.
Yeah.
And in my afternoon, like early morning, I think was like your evening.
Yeah.
And I couldn't talk to you. And then by the time I would leave the hospital and like come home, it would be like 2 a.m. for you. And you would always just say like, just call me. So I'd like, poor guy, I'd wake him up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the
actually,
morning.
you would call me and I would do my best to answer, which
Yeah.
obviously sometimes I didn't, but I did pick up
Yeah.
and would try to talk to you just to like say your face or say hi.
Yeah.
Eventually, we started like doing the whole FaceTime thing,
Yeah.
which was like wild. Like I literally bought a tripod
Yeah.
just so that I could like FaceTime her, and like I would fall asleep or whatever, and then she
Yeah.
would just do her thing. And like, it sounds weird, but to me, like that was like so important.
It was just knowing that like you're there.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't be there for each other throughout
Yeah.
the whole day or even in the morning.
Yeah.
Like it was different. Like for example, like obviously like my family's still here, so I'm doing essentially long distance with my family.
Yeah.
But like my parents wake up early, like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So for me that was great 'cause that's early evening for me.
Yeah.
But like I know
Yeah.
it's hard, like not everybody wakes up at 5 a.m. So that's different first of all. Plus your schedule is so different, and then my schedule it was hard to find like that balance and like that routine.
Yeah.
But we eventually got there. It didn't take long for us to get there. I'm okay.
It didn't take long for us to get there
Yeah.
because, like I said, we're adults. We were older. We understood what we were getting ourselves into. We understood the commitment,
Yeah.
but also it was a grind.
Yeah. It was 2 years.
It was 2 years. We saw each
2.5 years,
other
2.5 years.
how many times a year?
So I would come home for a month in the Canadian summer. Not even a month, like 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah.
So I would be home in July
Yeah.
for a couple weeks. And then my longest break was usually summer break. So middle of November until end of February.
Yeah.
So that was literally the only time we had until I really pushed for a placement here in my last year.
Yeah.
So I got to be here for an extra, like month and a half.
That helped though. That helped. Yeah. That placement.
Yeah. So
I remember
we
that.
got like an extra almost 2 months.
Basically,
together, I
like
think,
it was just tough.
Yeah.
We're not complaining. They was just like doing
Yeah.
it was like extremely difficult, but like that whole process made us strong,
I think it,
like very strong.
well, like to me, like the most important thing or one of the most important things in a relationship is communication.
Yeah.
So obviously the only thing we can do when you're that far apart from each other is communicate.
Yeah.
So it kind of like we were able to like figure out like how we communicate best with each other, like
yeah.
what you need versus what I need. And I think like if it wasn't for the long distance, I don't know if it'd be that strong as it is today. Just like saying things that are on our mind, or like just nipping things in the bud, or like
Yeah.
talking about our day,
Yeah.
and like, you know, just like problem solving life and like our own issues together and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I think that's super important. And I think long distance really helped with that because you can't do anything else.
Yeah. We honestly, we
So,
literally couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
It was just
Always
talk,
Yeah.
FaceTiming, or just keeping the video on, just like I said, just so we know we're there
Yeah.
for each other. I think that was like one of the most important things.
Yeah.
I think when we did get to see each other, obviously it was just a big sigh of relief. Like, yo, we're together finally.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a fake thing. It's like you're actually a real person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
those like small things. And then from there, it just started to build out.
Yeah.
Like then obviously like over time, like, you know, you came to LA
Yeah.
at a point. Like I also went back to Perth. Like
Yeah.
we started
Yeah.
figuring things out. We both came back here.
Yeah.
Like
I think we had yeah, so like that first year it was like you came to Australia
Yeah.
and then a couple months later we both came home.
Yeah.
And then a couple months later I came to LA for the first time
Yeah.
and like saw like the new house and like that was really cool cuz I'd never been
That was
to
your
LA
first.
before either,
Yeah. Yeah.
let alone like with
Remember when I
my
got Jordan
boyfriend.
at the airport?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, that was so cute of you to do that. Yeah. So the first time basically that I went to LA, I had like a week off from school.
Yeah.
And right away I was just like, okay, I'm going to LA to see you. And it was like the longest flight and you would come to the airport to LAX to come pick me up.
Yeah.
And Jordan, shout out to you, Jordan. He's watching this. You had him like come, and he's a photographer. He's a dope photographer. And he was just like snapping all these candid photos of us, like seeing each other for the first time in months.
Yeah.
And those were like such precious photos, and that was really cute.
Those
And
are
then
good throwbacks.
after I was like done crying and start reading it, then I was like, oh my God, Jordan's
You
here.
remember the
taking photos.
shorts?
Yeah, and your head. Yeah, so
That was the first time I had the shorts.
yeah, so Nav got these custom shorts made.
They're like
they-
LA Lakers shorts.
Yeah,
LA, instead of saying Lakers across, you guys maybe have seen them if you follow or seen us.
yeah,
They say Ambika across the
yeah,
front.
yeah.
There's a bunch of pictures on social media and stuff like that we have of it. But I
So-
wore those to the airport like just to get her.
This guy's like at the airport with his like in the lab headband and these like shorts, just like with my name across the front.
Yeah, we were out there, bro. We
It
were
was
like, I
really
was out there.
cute. It was like the cutest like first welcome. And like after so long after seeing each other, that was really nice. And that was
Yeah.
a fun trip too.
All the
Yeah.
trips we've done have been like fun.
I feel like we've just grown in each trip.
Yeah.
Like it's always been like a progression. Like
Yeah.
so it was just felt natural.
The relationship has been like an interesting journey
Mm-hmm.
because of the path we took. Like I said, it's not non-traditional. It's not normal.
Yeah.
It's like completely random at some points
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it that way. But it's like everything we did brought us closer together,
Yeah.
closer together, made us stronger,
Yeah.
and like allowed us to be like where we are right now.
Yeah.
And even like now, even like part of doing this is like every day we're learning more things about each other. Like
Mm-hmm.
our relationship is evolving. Like I'm already like madly in love with you, obviously. I know you were like crazily head over heels for me.
I'm
Obviously,
breathless.
yeah, you clearly like. There's points where she doesn't even know what to do with herself. She's so in love with me, but it's
Oh
like
my God.
you know that's what it's all about, really. But anyways, like, so when was the first time you told your mom? Because she knew first, obviously. When did you tell her?
Actually, the very first people to know were the girls.
Kat and Kate,
Kat and
obviously,
Kate
yeah,
and my brother.
yeah.
My
Akil,
brother
yeah.
knew about
Shout
you
out
for
to
a
Akil.
minute. Yeah.
We'll have Akil on here one day.
Yeah. So the three of them know everything always first right away, other
Yeah.
than now you. And then I had told my mom, I think it was after we had gone on our maybe like first two or three dates.
Yeah,
First couple dates. So I just wanted to be sure that like, obviously after one date, everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. So I just wanted to be sure.
yeah,
So I did tell my mom, because she kind of had a feeling something was up, because I usually don't get dressed up and stuff. I usually just like don't care. If I'm going out to see my friends, I'll like put a toque on and like that's it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. But I was like really making an effort, curling my hair. So yeah, I had told her, and she was stoked. Like you already know, she was so excited. And basically just so happy that you were Indian.
Yep.
That was the first thing she asked. And she was just like, is he Indian? But then the thing that actually really, I like knew it, but I didn't really like think of it that way until she had said it was, so she asked me to show a photo of you to her.
Yeah.
And I did. I think it was just like one of your photos of you like playing basketball or something like that. Or, like doing stairs or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was one of like a close up of your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
tried to be like a little sly and like show her. She's like, no, I want to actually see his face.
Yeah.
So I showed her one, and the first thing she said was like, he looks like he has really, like, he's very kind. Like, his eyes really say
Yeah.
a lot. And I was like, oh. And she's like, you've, like, already met him and hung out with him? And I was like, yeah. She's like, is he, like, really, like, honest? Like, he has really honest and kind eyes. And I was like, yeah, he is a very, like, honest and kind guy. I was like, oh, yeah. My mom already knew.
She knew.
She knew.
She knew.
Yeah, and then she just wanted to, they both, her and my dad, they just wanted to meet you right away.
Yeah.
And oh man, that's a whole other.
That's a
That's
obviously a
whole
whole
other
nother
episode.
like episode. Like I said, one day hopefully we'll have them on here. But it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, obviously your parents are dope. Obviously all that stuff is good. It was just hilarious, like going there the first time and doing all that stuff and like seeing how like excited they were.
Yeah.
Especially like your mom, obviously, like how excited
Oh, they
she
pulled
was.
out all the stops. Dad
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, they
Oh.
they made all of that like just really dope. And
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the first time I brought a guy home, so
Yeah.
it was like a huge.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And it was cool because obviously I know your parents are strict and like,
Mhm.
but they aren't like as strict as
Yeah.
just from my understanding from like how other like Indian parents can be. So that
Mhm.
was also very nice where it's like they were open
Yeah.
to talk and to do this and to do that. And
Yeah.
it wasn't just like, what do you do? Why aren't you a doctor? And
Yeah.
what do you make? And all this kind of stuff. And just like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand that like I don't really have like I don't have a job. So it's like
Yeah.
that was always like a fearful thing for me is like if parents were to ask like what do you
Mhm.
do? It's like I still obviously struggle to say like what I do because there's so much random stuff happening. But it's not like right now it's just not like, oh, I'm a doctor. Like and then they're like, oh, that's amazing. Like we're so
Yeah.
happy that you're gonna be with our
It's
daughter.
a very unconventional, like, and to be honest, like, I didn't know anybody who, or still don't, honestly. Well, now I'm starting to know of people who did and are doing what you do,
like an entrepreneur.
like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But in this kind of space,
Yeah.
like, I know entrepreneurs, like, oh, they're trying to start their
Yeah.
own business and their own ventures, but like nothing like this, like nothing like in the lab, nothing
Yeah.
like what you guys are trying to create and do. It's like on a bigger global scale, and that's hard to like convey to like family when they also haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
But I'm like lucky that they were like very open minded and they're not like other other parents, and
Yeah.
they are super chill. So I mean, pretty lucky for that.
Just super lucky for that. Anyways. Did we miss like any like was there something that was like missed that should be told in terms of like the
slid in my
journey? We talked about the long
DMs.
distance. We talked about
Yeah.
I was in LA, she was in Australia.
Yeah.
Talked about kind of how we met a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, in between there is basically just us doing phone calls for like 2.5 years.
It was a long time. That
Yeah.
was, I think, the biggest
It was
thing.
a very long
It
time.
was 2.5 years because I couldn't obviously like accelerate my program.
No.
You couldn't come out there. You had to do what you had to do
Yeah.
and work and create a base in LA.
Yeah.
And we were just, support each other from afar. And whenever we could get together, then we'd get together. And
Yeah.
you would come out there when you could, and I would come to LA when I could. And when we'd be home
We'd
for
be
the
home.
holidays.
Yeah.
Like, we had our first Christmas together that year. And
Yeah. That was dope.
then we both went to LA together. And
Yeah.
yeah, we just made it work. So if we can do it, I feel like other
Anyone
people
can do it.
too. Yeah.
Honestly, like what it really comes down to is like who you
Yeah.
are as a person. Like,
Yeah.
can you commit? Can you be
Yeah.
honest? Can you like
Yeah.
actually commit to this woman in front of you and say,
yeah.
I'm not going to talk to another girl. I'm not going to go see another girl. Cause that's
Mhm.
where the issues come. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't see her for 4 months. Let me go talk to someone else. That's
Yeah.
just like a weak mentality in my
Yeah.
opinion. And
Yeah.
I'm more of a savage that way.
No, I agree. How is it supposed to work that way?
Yeah.
Then?
But I'm saying that's why most long distance relationships don't work.
But I think that also, and I think there has to be like a common end goal. Like, for example, like if I was gonna live in Australia and do
Oh,
another
yeah.
degree afterwards, then what would we have done?
Obviously. Yeah.
That
Wouldn't
can't
have made
work. It was
sense.
kind of like, okay, I'm here for another 2.5 years, and then my plan was always to come back to North America, whether it was to be with you in LA or whether it was to be back here in Edmonton. Those were my two options.
Yeah.
It was never an option for me once I had met you to like stay in Australia. I was like, no, I'm going to do what I have to do here, and then I'm going to go. And I think that obviously helped out too, because it's not like a what if. There's no what if lingering. Where are we going to live? Like, what are we going to do? How often are we going to see each other? Because you can't grow that way.
No, you can't.
You can't keep living life in limbo, countries and oceans apart. So I think that helps too.
There's so much more that I want to like talk about, but I know we're going to make more. And also our goal was also to try and keep everything to 30 minutes. This one's
Ooh,
45,
It's
so
a long one.
it's still under an hour. But I'm going to save what I want to say for a future one.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully I don't forget, but it's just about like how you supported me. and like just how far support goes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like super important to touch on
Yeah.
and to share to other people. Like in a relationship, that's like one of the most important things
Mm-hmm.
is the support. And you've always given me like unwavering support.
I always will.
And I know you always will because
Yeah.
I'm an amazing individual and you want to support me.
Okay. No, I always believed in you from the very beginning. That's why I said it was like, although it was
Yeah.
different for me, and like we'll get into this like in another episode if you want to, or we can keep talking about it now. It's up to you. But it's already pretty long.
What were we gonna say? No, let's save it because we'll
Save
try
it?
to stick to what we said. Like
yeah.
in terms of like we're trying to keep the episodes a little bit shorter so that if you want to digest, you can watch one and not like
Yeah.
have to like waste not to waste your time, but just give up so much time to watch it. But anyways, look, we just knocked out our second one.
Yeah. That was fun.
Each time we have a conversation, even though these are simple, basic conversations,
Mm-hmm.
like I get more excited.
Yeah.
And I know you get excited. I think you get a little less nervous. Like you still have these weird tendencies that you're doing on camera, which is like hilarious. But it's like it's really cute because she doesn't know yet. She's not like relaxed yet. But it'll be fun to watch your progress from episode 1 to 100 to see like how goofy you get and like where you're all at. I think
I'll have like my legs up. Like
you'll
I'll
be
just
like big chilling once you do a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Roll the outro.
No, you gotta do the outro this time.
No, the intro and outro is you. Roll the outro.
I feel like I gotta maybe a couple more episodes until the goof.
Roll the outro. That's it.
I can't.